Where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from, Cotton Eye Joe? Okay, so welcome to the channel. I want to jump into and ask that question. Where do your scenes come from? Obviously not Cotton Eye Joe, but let's hope not. But this is a very, very important question. If you're looking to advance your ability to manifest whatever it is that you want, answering this question will determine whether you're going to be able to manifest anything at all. And I know that sounds like, oh my gosh, that sounds like clickbait, blah, blah, blah. That's not my intention. This is an important question because where your scenes come from will determine what you experience in life, not just in your manifestations, because life is manifestation. If you replace the word with like manifestation with life, or life with manifestation, you're going to understand manifestation way better, right? Life isn't separate from manifestation. Life is manifestation. This is why this is a lifestyle, right? This isn't a vending machine. This isn't I want to get this and then I'll be happy and life will make sense and all of this kind of stuff. Because if you constantly do that, then all you're going to do is you're going to generate more desire, which will generate more desire for satisfaction, which means in the interim, while you're trying to be satisfied, you're not satisfied, which means you're going to be living constantly in gaps. You're going to be living and experiencing moments of dissatisfaction with moments of satisfaction, moments of dissatisfaction with moments of satisfaction, and so on and so forth. Right? Now, some people are like, well, that is life. Not necessarily. Life doesn't have to go that way. And this is, if you take Neville seriously, or his work, or Abdullah's work, or Joseph Murphy's work, is that you can get out ahead of this. What that really means, and I mean, Neville actually uses that kind of phrasing, is that you want to get out ahead of your manifestations. Another way to say that is live in joy, live in expectation, live in all of these feelings of that life is beautiful, right? Get out ahead of it means I don't need to wait for it. I am it. That's really what it's about, right? Now, do not hear me, and you're never going to hear me endorse this, but I do see a lot of people endorsing this, which is toxic positivity. I am not a fan. There is no psychological proof that staying in one emotion and forcing one emotion on your whole life experience is actually healthy in any way, shape, or form. This is why I like Neville's work. And I've shared this similarly in other videos, because there is a huge mental health epidemic even within the manifestation community because of this ideology, right? There's so much unhealthy ways of understanding how the law works, right? And, you know, the law itself doesn't care. The law is impartial. So it doesn't sit there and say, well, because you're using it wrong, I'm going to now slow it down. Nope. You're going to use it wrong, then you're going to continue using it wrong. And that's really part of the experience of trying to navigate the law and to try to understand ourselves in relationship to the law. But really, and, you know, you can agree with this or disagree with this, but we are the law. Like, the law isn't something that you go do. You don't go to church to get the law. You don't go rub, rabbit's feet. You don't go and look for numbers that are repeating. You don't go and look to your astrological signs. You are the law. That's it. There's no other way around it, right? And the reason why that's so important, even as we're exploring this today, is because the more and more that you realize that, the more and more you take your power back. The more and more that you realize, oh man, all these limiting beliefs are simply there as road signs saying, okay, I need to deal with this. This is important, right? This is something where if I do deal with it, I become more valuable. Let's say, for example, if you don't have a high self-esteem, well then, you know, part of the deal is that you have to get to a point where you're like, I love myself. I appreciate myself. I'm the shit. I am awesome, right? Whatever it is and whatever belief systems that help you get there, that's fine, right? Those things don't matter. It's you are the ultimate belief system, right? Dr. Joe Dispenza says you're the placebo effect, right? Neville says you are the solution to your own problems, and so on and so forth. And that's really what this is about fundamentally. But let's explore this, okay? Because where your scenes come from will determine what you believe about what is possible. Okay, so if your scenes are, hey, I want to get rich, okay? Well, here's the thing. That's probably going to point you to a memory or a series of memories or a series of experiences that you can keep pointing to. We just call them memories, right? And you keep pointing your finger back to them. Oh, well, yeah, but look at my parents. Look at my parents. Look at my childhood. Look at where we lived. Look at what kind of food we ate. Look at what things we couldn't buy. All of these kinds of things. And so we start pointing, right? And we start creating a story and a narrative around these memories. Rather than using Neville's technique of revision, we simply just relive those. And so when we retell them, we relive them. We are being them. So every memory is a story, and every story has a character, and every story that has a character has actions, and every action is derived from beliefs, and every belief is derived from emotions, and every emotion is derived from a memory, and so on and so forth. We are cycled beings, right? And so what we need to do is we need to break that cycle. And so the way in which you can break that cycle, obviously, is, you can go to therapy, you can do meditation, you can even do exercise that helps actually down-regulate the area that is I need to, always in fight or flight mode, all of this kind of stuff, right? And so when your scenes are coming from the past, you're only defining your future by even the present self, right? And we know that there's no present, past, everything's just present, right? Everything's now. Okay, there's no future. But for the sake of this conversation, there is. Because we need to understand what's going on with our minds as it's connected to our identities, which is a state, which is a body of beliefs. Okay? And so when you're coming to a place where you're asking the question, where are my scenes coming from? If they're coming from the future, you're always going to think everything's possible, right? Because your future self is already there now. Right? So that's really what you're doing when you're going in and using the imagination to create scenes. You're going in from the future and living now, right? As the person now, not the person then. That's why if you ask the question or answer the question and you say, oh, all my scenes are coming from the past, which by the way, yes, heal those limiting beliefs, but always think bigger. So if you think, okay, I grew up not in a rich scenario, but I want to be rich, you're still thinking from the past. But if you start thinking, I want to be wealthy, which is established income, which is the ability to invest it, which is the ability to use it wisely, which is do you hear the difference? Rich is very different from wealthy. Rich is winning the lottery. Wealthy is, I have billions of dollars in the bank and I have a very successful business and I enjoy what I do and I love my life. That's the difference, right? This is why even they've done research with people over a 5 or 10 year span. And I'm happy to share a link about that, about people who won the lottery. And after about 5 to 10 years, it didn't change anything. And this is in sociology and psychology, it's referred to as the hedonic ladder. You can go check that out. But what you must really begin to realize is that if you're answering questions, if you're answering and you're creating the scenes from the past, you're only going to live in as much as you believe that you are capable from the past. Okay? So that means you need to start living from the future. You need to start thinking, okay, what would the future version of me? And that means you need to think bigger than you currently are. Because if you're always thinking from the past, you're always thinking small. You're thinking incrementally. And so from the future, you always think big. And that's really, really what the crux of this is. That's what the heartbeat is, right? Is what are you thinking about? How much of what you are thinking about? How are you being that every single day? And I guarantee you, if you start thinking big, you're going to get bigger. Your life's going to get bigger. You're going to experience the bigness of being the divine that you already are.